Yo, this Mac.
And Alexis.
This is the JudgeUsNot podcast. We back at the court building. We got my boy Dame in the building.
Hi, Mac.
Yeah, we back with my boy Mark, man.
What's up?
Boy Mark, the great right here.
Back in the courtroom.
What's on the case, man? You gonna introduce the case today?
Man, I want to talk about the influences, man. Where's all these gems coming from? Where's all this game? And we ain't born with it. It's coming from somewhere. Let's talk about where we getting it from. Let's talk about. I know y'all got some couple books y'all want to talk about.
I got books. I got people. I mean, you want us to kick it? I can kick it. You want to?
Yeah, you kick. I don't know shit, bro. I'm just here.
All right.
So I'm just here to judge people.
For me, I mean, it started off
slap gavels and shit. So
I would say my influence is. It's weird as it sounds. Like I'm heavily influenced by like my daughter. Like people don't realize like when you watch kids, when you see a kid play at the playground, they don't care what you look like, how old you are. They just go and play, right? Like when we market and sell things, we gotta think like kids. Because as adults, we get older, we get, oh shit, I don't want to go talk to them. I'm too scared. Like think like a kid. You'll get out there and talk to anybody. So like influence for me is definitely like my wife, my daughter.
That's deep. That's like a kid.
Brother. I have an older brother. He's a year older than me. Like growing up, everyone knew us as like his name is Charles. Everyone knew everyone like friends and people at school, they knew him as Charlie. So it's like growing up, it was just always like Charlie and Mark. Like we were like a duo. Still to today, like he's been a huge influence. I mean, like he has his own company. He does really well for him and his family. But you know, that's been an influence. And then outside of that, I would say.
What are some of the things you got from him as far as like, was it like work ethic, ways he moves?
My brother. My brother's always telling me like, you know, he's just always like, just don't let anyone know what you're doing. You know, just don't be on the social media stuff, posting your next move because everybody wants to feel like you have to like social media is like, you know, you got to be relevant in some sense. Like you have to show like, oh, look at me, I'm lifting weights at the gym. But like, what does that do for your followers? Whether you have 100 followers, 10,000 followers, whatever it is, like, not to knock anyone who's posting like the lifting, you know, like lifting weights at the gym, but you see people like myself, like the biggest weight we should be lifting is our brain. This is gonna get you further than like your muscles, you know what I mean? But like with that, like, you know, that concept, my brother's always like, bro, like just be educated, stay humble, stay quiet, and just fly under the radar. Don't let anyone know what you're doing. Just can come out and like let your work shine.
Yeah, speak
so
for yourself.
I took that. Like, if he sees me posting, he'll call me out. He'll be like, don't do that shit.
Yeah.
He's like, get off social media. Like, don't do that. He doesn't even. I mean, he shares a social media account with my sister-in-law, but he's not on there like doing all that bullshit.
Yeah.
He's anti all that.
I think with it because of the social media stuff, as long as like. Because I've definitely had my same perceptions of that. Like, man, these people flexing. What's that doing? But I think if it's, as long as it's intentional. Right. Because I had to break out of my comfort zone and be like, you know what? I'm not really wanting to be posting this and that. But, like, I'll post little not necessarily flexing in the gym, but I'll post like I'm going to the gym. Mm-hmm. And it might not seem like much, but... Or like I'll post like me making some healthy foods or whatever. And it wasn't until I started having people like DM me like, hey, I ain't gonna lie, you on your health kick, boy, I need to get on that shit, dude. So then I was like, like it doesn't always have to be like, hey, everybody look at me, look, I'm flexing. It ain't that. It's right. Planting that seed like, well, shit, well, Albert, whatever. I knew he was hella unhealthy, drinking and doing all this and that. He on his health kick now, and maybe there's something to it. Let me try it. Like, what kind of blender you got? They start asking questions.
Maybe that'll spark their brain to be like, damn, he doing some shit. Maybe I should get on that.
Exactly.
Because I was following him.
That's true. I was saying, I think there's some people out there that are like, just like your part, right? Like people can get value because you have that following where people are interested in knowing what you're doing, so they want to learn from you. But a lot of people out there, I see, just like
trying to be seen. They
want to be relevant, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like they're posting pictures, lifting weights. Like, bro, like that's not doing anything. Like that's like me posting pictures of like or a video of myself like reading a book. We should be doing that. Like that's my weights, right? Like we should be doing that because we're like people are going to be like, damn, like if Mark was able to accomplish this, or Al was able to accomplish this, and he read this book, or Mac read U Squared, and he's reading that, like maybe I can. Level up with that.
Part, right?
You know what I mean? Like that's what we got to get to. So, I mean, outside like my personal circle, I mean, like my brother, you know, my wife, daughter, like, I mean, those are like my core. George Pratt, man. Like, I mean, we talked about George Pratt.
I'm watching this stuff.
Dr. Pratt. I mean, he wrote the book Hyper Success. I learned about him through Rob Dyrdek. You know, Rob, we kind of the same similar upbringing, professional skateboarder. Obviously, I'm not a professional skateboarder. I wasn't, never was, but he went that route, and I just kept on hearing him talk about like every interview or anything he talked about was like this George Pratt, like Dr. Pratt changed his life, made him go from like this about to be broke skateboarder to like multi-success, whatever you want to, like serial entrepreneur, even though that word is just washed. He was on the Steve-O podcast recently talking about George Pratt again. I was like,
I seen that, yeah.
Fuck that. Like, who's George Pratt, right? So I looked into him and then reached out to his office, and his assistant got in contact with me. He's like, oh, you want, you know, like I can get you on a 10-minute call with George Pratt. And I was like, oh shit. So like next thing you know, I get a call from this number and I pick it up and he's like, hey, Mark, is Dr. Pratt. I'm like, oh shit. So I started talking to him about like, you know, like what I'm looking to solve, what I want to do. And then, you know, hearing Rob talks about how he was hypnotized for success. So after I talked to George, I was chatting back with his assistant, Heather. I was like, she's like, so what do you want to accomplish? She's like, well, I want to get hypnotized for success. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, that isn't, you got to go through multiple appointments with him before we get to that level. So I ended up booking my appointment, went down to his office in San Diego, and then had our talk. And then like the last half an hour or so, he was just like, so you want to be hypnotized for success? And I was like, bro, like what?
You
like,
must have seen something in you then.
I don't know what it was, but then
How long ago was this?
That was in September, so it was like what?
Oh shit!
Recently.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go back, trying to go back and see him like next month or in May. But yeah, we did that like a 30-minute hypnosis, and then after that, like his assistant just emailed me yesterday and was like, now like he wrote hyper success or hyper performance, and then now she's like, what books can I send you? I'm like, so they're I don't know, it's weird, but they're plugging me with like tools now, you know, like, and they're just sending it to me, and I'm like,
it's the hypnotism, bro.
I manifested this.
Planting them seeds. I feel like in the long run too, though, eventually, like in his position, like the more that he gives you guys, and the more you guys succeed. Now, look, you're here talking about him. The more it's gonna plug his name, like he's gonna be known as having an influence on all these people. You know what I mean? So I like that because it's not him. It's just from what I've watched about him, he's not trying to like covet all this stuff. Yeah. You know, he's giving out all the the little like. The little tricks he does with the hands and, you know, the meditations and all that stuff is out there. You know what I mean? And I think I really like that as opposed to like somebody figuring something out and being like, oh, I'm going to use this. I'm not telling nobody this shit. I'm about to just use it for my life. You know what I mean? So I think once you put out all that energy, you know, now it's...
Is it fair to say that some of us give out game to people who they see fit from it? Like, have you ever talked to somebody, but like, damn, I wish I could tell him about this, but I can tell that he's not.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. So, I'm glad you asked that question because we're going in on this right now. Yeah. So, I'm giving, you know, we all talk, you know, and I'm glad I'm giving you guys game. Like, I want to take you guys to San Diego with me. That would be my goal, is to get you guys to George, right? I want to bring you guys in there and have you guys have not just one
party.
Y'all get hypnotized, you know, and the next thing we come back. For me, like when I got in the car, my wife picked me up. She's like, how do you feel? I was like, I just got hypnotized for success. I don't know what this means, but let's go have a good time in LA. You know what I mean? So it's like, and since then, I just started seeing like an incline.
I'm gonna be like, I don't know, but my ass is sore.
But what you're saying, though, like, you know, you're talking about like talking to people, right? Like when it comes to people. So in product creation in tech, we had this thing called smoke testing. So smoke testing, it comes from back in the day, plumbers, when they would plug in pipes, they would shove smoke down the pipes to see where leaks are coming from. In tech, we do the same thing. When we build products, we smoke test a product to see like what parts of the app are, you know, crashing or not working. I smoke test people. I leak out false information to people on purpose to see how far they're going to take this information. Because, like, for example, we're all chatting here, right? Now, I might say, I'm not leaking anything to you guys that's false. But if I vibe from someone, I know like they're like, not really feeling them too much. I'll smoke test them quick. I'll throw out something that's like completely false, like shit's hitting the fan type stuff. And then like I only told that one person, and that's gonna teach me like if I hear from somebody else, oh, I heard this, I'm like, that leak only went to one person. Therefore, that you guys seen Meet the Parents? Mm-hmm. Yeah, remember Circle of Trust?
Oh, yeah.
That motherfucker's out the Circle of Trust like miles away.
Yeah.
So I think that's like, besides feeding people like, you know, like insight, that's a key thing that I learned. And I think like, and just ironically, I learned that other successful people also smoke test other people just to see like, not just feeding them like false bad information, but they also, like, I tell people good things, but if I was to tell you guys good things, you guys will take that in different contexts because you guys are excited about it. So you guys will share it with other people. But some people that know me, like, oh, Mark's doing this. They will never tell the good shit to somebody else, but they'll be quick to share the bad news, right? So like, just throwing it out there, like make sure you guys smoke test some people in your time, just because you'll never know.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I think that got me thinking. I don't think I smoke test
I don't think
people.
I smoke test,
so
but I
like,
definitely screen people.
Yeah.
Not smoke test them, man. Because
I just ask what they like more about them. Like what if they try to ask me like, man, I'm trying to do this, this, and this. Then I'm like, okay, I get it. So have you done this yet? Have you done this? Like how much effort, how much work have you put in by yourself? Or are you just here asking me for every little step? Because that ain't going to work. Because that's already shown me that you don't even have the initiative to start something on your own. I can't give you the key to do nothing. Like if that's your mindset, you might as well, you're in the wrong game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's not how you get anywhere with this. So it's like almost like just show me what you bringing to the table, you know what I mean, and what kind of character do you have? Gotcha. And then once I judge that, then I'm like, okay, he about it. He just ain't got little pieces of the puzzle. Like let me just see if I can maybe help him in here this way, and then step back, see what he does with it, then give him a little more, whatever it is,
Oh, okay, I took it the wrong direction. I thought we were talking about just like people in general, just like just to see who's in your circle, you know what I mean? Because
that's how I meant it.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
That's how
because you never know. I mean, for me, I don't want to waste time, right? Because like we always say, time is more valuable than anything we have. Yeah. And if you know someone's faulty in your group, you might as well just like, you don't want them to like take all the sauce and then they run off and like next thing they shit on you.
Because that happens.
That happened to me, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure we all get dumped on at some point by like somebody that was in your circle at one point, or like, well, I got all the sauce from this guy. Like, well, now like, fuck him. But if you smoke test them early on and you knew that there was a potential leak, you could have just fixed that leak then, and then you save yourself time, energy, etc.
Yeah, I mean, and the only reason why I bring that up because, I know even stuff that I just got from you and Al shit, Dame, even with like film and all that. It's like people say they want to learn these things, but it's just like, do you really? Are you just trying to? I don't know. It's to me, it's like it's a personality thing. If I see the way somebody's moving, to me, I don't believe anything people tell me. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to show me something. Like your action tells me everything because you could just be blowing smoke up my ass. You know what I'm saying? So, but the way you move, the way your social media is or whatever, if I see you in person, the way you act around certain people, the way you act around a girl, the way you act, all that shit matters to me. All that shit comes in the fact of like, okay, he's one of these type of people. You know what I'm saying? I can't really do this with him, but I can put him over here though because he might be beneficial at this. And then, I just what you like to call it? You like to
categorize.
Yeah, categorize like
put people in boxes.
Oh, this person's not smart, but he might be a heavy lifter, so I have to move shit. I can call him to help me move.
It's like what word called
compartmentalized?
Yeah, I can't even fucking say the word. Compartmentalized.
We can't never say it, but you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I got a speech impediment.
C word.
But yeah, so that's my thing, and the reason why like I like to try to like post books and shit like that with me just because of my background. And I think a lot of the people that come from my background gives them that, oh shit, he's doing something else type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Because like I come from a quote unquote hood background, right? So it's just like a lot of people don't really brag about like reading and shit like that. It's always just some other shit. So it's just like I try to throw shit like that out there to be like, you don't always have to be a tough guy. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do this. It's okay. It's okay to do this. It's okay to learn this. You'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's gonna throw fucking tomatoes at you walking down the street and yell boo. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
what if they do?
I mean, let's look at that. Like you said, you don't have to be a tough guy. Like if we're outside in the street, right? Let's say I bumped into Al outside. Like this guy might knock me out. Tattoos everywhere, right? But what people don't know is like, he's the dopest interior designer. And people just, and that's the thing is like you said, like.
And my favorite show is The Queer Eye. I just want to let y'all know that. I don't have no shame in saying that, but that's my shit.
But you know what I mean? Like, that's what you're saying to your point. Is like, you don't always have to put on this like who are you really? Like really, who are you at your core? Yeah. And like that is going to like, it's just enough of like this, like we're talking about, right? I think social media, and I don't like to bring it up too often, but I think that really has like just, it really fucked people up in that sense. Where it's like people have to portray this image of like being this like macho, like this alpha male, alpha female type personality, when in reality that's not really who they are. You know?
Yeah. And you putting out a certain energy when you're like that too.
Exactly.
And then there's no wonder like, oh man, everybody's ops or everybody's
Yeah,
this. It's because that's what you putting out.
My thing is, what is the urge to let people know that you're not this type of person? You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, coming from the hood, you being like, I can't let these motherfuckers know I ain't no suckers or whatever. It's just like, why do you have to feel like you have to let people know that you not no sucker? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that? And like, why do you care about what the hood thinks? You know what I'm saying? Why does it matter outside of this? Because you quick to say you can go to a suburban area with like, I don't give a fuck about these motherfuckers think about me, yada yada yada. Yeah. But when it comes to you being at home, you care about what they think.
You gotta put that vest on.
Yeah,
you gotta put
that's that default. On. That's like all they have is their pride.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
They're gonna prioritize that. So it's like once you lose that, then they have absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And the reason why I say that because I'm trying to get out of my shell enough where I want to be looked at as something different. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be looked at like, oh, Mac, he's this or that. Like, I want to have a different image towards me. So I won't be like, the tough guy or the thug or whatever the fuck anybody want to label me as. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be like, okay, Mac, he's a cool guy. He wants to do this. Whatever the case is, I want anything better than that. You know what I'm saying? Anything positive. So if I can trade, like I was joking with Al not too long because I went to a wedding. I was like, damn, what the fuck do I wear? Like, I don't even know how to wear clothes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know how to wear dress clothes and shit because I don't wear them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how do I dress up? How do I fucking wear a turtleneck? You feel me? How do I wear this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even used to wearing those type of things to even look different. You know what I'm saying? So like I gotta literally retrain my whole fucking thought process to figure out how can I do this and how I want to be looked at and how I want to be seen and what makes me feel better about myself. You know what I'm saying? Just all types of shit. And it's just
that's the fun part too, though, is you can do that.
It is.
That's what.
And I'm okay with doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with. I don't have to do something and be like, damn, I don't feel good doing this shit. Why am I doing this? Why am I trying to act like this? Like, my everyday goal in life is to be better. Be a better person than who I was yesterday. Yeah. You feel me? Like, I'm always trying to be better. And if I got a cap on self, then it's a problem to me. So I can't be at a standstill. Yeah. I'm always trying to.
A lot of people do that too, bro. They feel like I'm from here. I gotta move this way. I gotta act this way. It's hard out here. It's this and that. That's the prison inside your mind telling you that. You know what I'm saying? And there's plenty of people that move different ways. It's just you keep telling yourself that because my cousins did this, my dad's this, my family were known for this. This is my costume I have to wear now. Yeah. When it's not. That's what you're telling yourself.
Yeah. So like when my mind got blown about all this shit, right? The first like outsider book that I ever read was that had nothing to do with like hood shit, like urban shit. Cause I used to read a lot of urban books, not a lot, but when I was reading. The book, it's the book called Business of the 21st Century by Robert Kiyosaki. And I read that shit and it fucking blew my mind, bro. And it was just like, holy shit. At that moment is when I realized the difference between rich people and poor people. And it had nothing to do with money. Mm-hmm. Everything to do with mindset. You are the way you are because of how you think.
Exactly.
And that shit blew my fucking mind, bro. Yep. And I'm just like, I get it. Because I thought about me myself, like, I make money. I spent money. But you're at a position where it's like, damn, you feel like you ain't got it. But no, you had it, but you just fucked it off. You know what I'm saying? Your mindset wasn't conditioned enough to do better with your decisions, with your money. Right. And that's what put you in the position that you're in. You're not broke because you're not making money. You broke because you spent money, because you made bad decisions with your money. You know what I'm saying? And that shit just blew my fucking mind, man. It really opened up a lot of doors for me. And I talk about influence. I thank the people who gave me that book. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Perdo and Irene. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just, that book opened up a fucking can of worms for me. You know what I'm saying? It really changed. Like, I never even read Rich Dad Poor Dad. You know what I'm saying?
That was the first book I read.
Yeah, but I know he references it a lot in that book, but I've never even read it. And that shit just changed my life, bro. That shit really did.
Who gave you that book?
Perdo and Irene. Yeah, Perdo Cruz.
Shout out to Perdo.
Perdo Cruz. Yeah.
I got an interesting question I want to ask y'all because I know there was definitely, you know, we all learned what is it from osmosis, just being around people and shit rubbing off. But was there ever a point where you like looked at your life, looked at your family, looked at your surroundings, and was like, I'm not gonna, if I'm just stay soaking up what's around me, I'm not gonna get to where I want to be.
Yep.
You feel me? Because that's what happened with me.
Yes.
So when people ask me like, who's your mentor, this and that, like I honestly, nobody like physically pops into my mind. You feel me? I have to start reading books and referencing books and little there could be little interviews here and there where like I'll get little nuggets from here and there. But I think there is a point where you have to be like, I have to go above and beyond. I have to go outside my circle and see what people are doing in other demographics, other classes of people, and see what's working for them. Because if I just listen to what's around me, I'm gonna be what's around me. You know what I mean?
My influence came from people who I didn't want to be.
Yeah, that's another.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I got a lot of brothers and shit, and like I was seeing the way they was moving. Like I've never been to jail. You know what I'm saying? My whole fucking family been in jail. I'm the only one that's never been in the system. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like I watched them, and they let me know like, okay, this is what not to do. And they always made it clear to me too. They wasn't those type of brothers that be like, oh, you got to be like this. They be like, bro, don't do this, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And it was just one of those things that I seen was like, well, it's clearly not working for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I do that? You know what I'm saying? So I just look at a lot of people around me and like, you're not living the life that I would want to be a part of. So why follow this shit? You know what I'm saying? And one thing I like to say about like family and friends, you can choose your friends, you can't choose your family. You know what I'm saying? So you can always, to me, you can always just, I don't like this shit. I'm going to go ahead and get a new family. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go ahead and get a new family because I'm not obligated to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown human being. I'm not obligated to do anything for you. I don't have to, you're just related to me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not obligated to be around.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I got my own family to worry about. I'm trying to do something different and you guys are not helping me do that. So gotta go.
So those people, like I call them, they're just DNA members.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're just connecting them by. I'm the same boat, man. Like I have a big ass family. And it's just like a lot of the times. I mean, unfortunately, you can see it with like you always think like, damn, is my family the only one that's fucked up? Or is like then you start learning like, damn, everybody has like a family that's like dysfunctional. But a lot of times, like your biggest like problems come from within your family. You know, like they don't understand what you're trying to do. They're used to like their ways and they think that their ways are right. You know what I mean? Like, and then like, and then you have to, like we're talking about, like you have to unlearn all that shit. And then when you unlearn it, they think like, oh, he's trying to do something different now. He's thinking outside the box. Then you start becoming like this like anti-family member because you no longer show up to the barbecues and no longer show up to like the parties because like you see like, fuck, if I'm around them, like, yeah, you may love them because they're your family.
And that shit rub off. That shit rub off, yeah. That shit. And you want to know what's crazy? What I realized recently was that everybody that I talk to, like in my close circle now, every single one of those persons are the black sheep of their family. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all the one that stuck out was like, I'm not gonna do what this family did. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's crazy. Even like my brothers, like my Mexican brothers, right? Even our wives and shit. All our wives is like birthdays in May and shit. Like they're all like they're like the odd sisters, you know what I'm saying, out of their family and shit. Like it's crazy how they're even our women are the black sheep of their family. You feel me? And I just thought it was just fucking odd, man. And that's the reason why I hold dear to like friends and shit, because of friends, you chose them. You feel me? Like they're around you because you chose them to be there. You feel me? Y'all benefit off each other. This is a family to me. You feel me? Well, friendship is family. Family members are relatives.
Well, shit. So I have some friends in my life who are not. I didn't choose them, but wives, friends, husbands. You know what I mean? Like you just happen to become friends with them. Thank God. Like my wife's friends or husbands, you know, they're they're pretty fucking cool. So
See, even me with that, like I have a thin line with that. You feel me? Like if I feel like you're not really that cool, like I'm gonna kind of make it clear, like I'm not fucking.
I don't
with
fuck
you.
with all of them. You know what I mean? But there's like two of them.
I was like, I'm not fucking with you.
That's
but,
where that B word come in, that boundaries.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this and this, but my boundaries are telling me I can't. I'm not gonna come to this, or I'm not gonna go to that.
because I also know me, and I also know where I'm going to take it. So it's just like if I don't feel comfortable with some shit, I'm gonna let it be known, and I know how it's gonna come off with me. So it's like I better not just intertwine with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I might as well just.
And it's a
stay out the
skill.
way,
It's
you
a
feel me?
skill too in itself. Like not
Just knowing yourself,
not,
really.
being able to navigate those relationships. Not because we're not sitting here saying, "Yeah, I ain't fucking with y'all. I'm not going there." Like, nah, we're saying, "Oh, I'll come for an hour and then I gotta dip off." You have to very much be in a self-preservation mode. You gotta protect yourself. Like for instance, last night I had a good friend of mine. She had a birthday, right? She wanted to go. They went out to the club and this and this and that. And so I'm getting to this point now where I'm being like super intentional.
Right,
like
like Andre,
what?
huh?
Yeah. What? Like, yeah, I want to go and celebrate with this person. You know what I mean? It's a friend of mine, but like, what and ultimately, what is it gonna do to me? Like, I'm gonna go there. I'm probably not gonna drink. So if I'm not drinking, that shit really ain't my vibe. It's not conducive to nothing that I'm trying to do today. So like today, we're shooting a podcast. Like if I would have went, I would have probably stayed for a minute. I either got irritated and just, let me just go. I made an appearance, or I would have succumbed to my surroundings, started drinking, and today I'm looking puffy. I'm gonna be hungover. I'm gonna still be. My whole mind would be operating different. Right. So it's being in a skillful way. And that's what I ended up doing. Like I didn't go, but I ended up tapping in with her today and give her a reason. That's what I'm working on. Not necessarily just not going, but like, hey, I would have liked to go, but this is why I didn't go. I'll go. We maybe go have lunch or something. I want to celebrate with you, but in a different way. That ain't my wave no more. That's not what I'm doing. So I think, once you start being able to like vocalize all that kind of shit, then people, they'll probably start respecting you more. They'll understand, or they'll just be resentful, and then they really showing their true colors, and then you can do what you want to do.
I think that comes with that whole energy concept, right? It's like. And I've always said this, like when you go outside, you don't feel the radiation from the sun. But if you're out there long enough, you're going to get burned. Mm-hmm. And the same thing happens with our energy. Mm-hmm. Like you can go to like the club and have like a full tank of positive energy. But then the people that are there, you're feeding off that. So you start depleting your positive energy. So like, I agree. Everything you just said right now, it makes perfect sense. I mean, to me and to other, to other people who understand this, how important like that is. But that's a small percentage of people because most people just goes right over their head.
Oh
yeah.
I mean, that's the reason why they say the small majority of the people control the majority of the world, right?
And you gotta start getting in contact with those people. I mean, it's not. And they do that small percentage of people. They do have a shit ton of cash, but at the same time, it's even if you eliminate like
influence.
You ever see like let's take Jack Dorsey, and I always use him because he's just a cool ass guy. He made Twitter, he made Square, and then he's doing this crypto thing, right? Shit can hit the fan for him. He can just lose everything, but he'll become a billionaire again because that's the
mindset.
It's that mindset, So like,
I didn't get here by accident. You know what I'm saying? I got here through the way I thought, my work ethic. I got here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So I forgot the dude's name. He was on Andrew Schultz. What's that? Flavoring 2. And he was talking about how he became a millionaire 5 times. You know what I'm saying? How he went broke 5 times. And it was just like and just hearing the interview, and he was just like, so how the fuck did you fuck it up a second time? You know what I'm saying? How did you do this? I get it once or twice, but how did you do this 5 times? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he was just going through and just talking about how his mindset was, how he was like, he even thought about like committing suicide and leaving like life insurance to his kids and shit like that. Like he thought about every aspect to get out of his debt problem or whatever the case is, and he still fucking just overcame that shit, man. That shit was crazy.
Well, you know what's so crazy about that when you're talking about that?
What's like I remember people's names.
I know, I'm bad with that shit too. But
Google it, motherfucker.
Yeah, Google it.
But I'm taking this class right now. It's personalities and all that stuff. But basically, they talk about levels of development, and so you go up these levels to where the higher levels, you basically are getting, I guess you could say, just like more enlightened, more at ease, and knowing yourself and all that. But the higher you get, the higher the stakes are. You know what I mean? So
That's a fact.
you're more powerful, more skillful, and you know your life is you're operating like more optimum or whatever. But also, like when you do mess up, you like fall down these levels. You feel me? More quicker. So it's like higher stakes, and that's what I think of when you tell me shit like that. Like with cats that are high achieving or whatever, like even celebrities, developers, whatever it is. When they fuck up, they literally go like bankrupt. They go like all the way down, but then they'll go back up, and then they're able to like even surpass where they was at before. You know what I mean? But then something happened or whatever, then they go back down. But at least you know that journey again. You know what I mean?
It happens.
So that's where you get that fluctuation.
And I think the benefit of that is what keeps people rising back up again is your relationship with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, them type of people still got their relationship, that people that helped them, that people that put them on, and they can always tap into that same network that can get you back there again. You know what I'm saying? I think the power of friendship is important, man. And
that's that character.
Yeah, for real. And if some people would just help you out just because they fucking like you. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, bro, I know you mean well. You know what I'm saying? I know this shit just happened to you. I know you mean well. We're gonna do this for you to do this, and then shit, boom. Yeah. The rest is history, I guess.
I mean, there's a big part of that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, what are some of the like key points? Like, if you was to like highlight a couple of the books or mentors quotes or whatever, what are some of the things that really stick out there? Like, I'll get this shit tattooed.
I'm really bad with names,
chest.
but
yeah.
It's hard because there's so many.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to think, but I mean, if I could bring any value to anybody, Hyper Performance by George Pratt. He talks about the AIM strategy. The AIM strategy.
Yeah. Talk about that. Talk about the AIM strategy.
AIM strategy. I didn't understand this. I wish someone did tell me. Like, you know, I watched a shit ton of podcasts and heard George Pratt's name like years ago. I should have just looked into them. But if I knew about AIM like even a year ago, I feel I'd be in a different situation today. So by next year, I'm projecting a different outcome. But AIM is key, and I think a lot of people most people don't know about it. But like the AIM strategy is huge.
Is that like an acronym for something, or is it?
Yeah,
just
it's active breathing, imagery, and mental rehearsal. So mental rehearsal, like if you think about, like if you were to close your eyes, right, and just like people, like let's say you're playing basketball, and if you go out to play basketball every day, you might suck. And this actually happened for me back in the 90s, and I didn't realize like I actually performed the mental rehearsal part back then. Had no clue until I read the book and then talked to George. But like back in the day when I was skateboarding, I always wanted to hit a kickflip. And I was like, I could just never land a fucking kickflip for like the life of me. I'd go out there, and then at times I would just sit there and just like imagine myself landing it. And then I would just like literally dream about it. Like I would have dreams of me skating, like landing these fucking tricks. Shit, you know, the next morning I went out and I fucking landed the kickflip. But it's just like, but that's the thing, like most people, like NBA players, they're trained on that mental rehearsal part. Like they don't just go out there and start hitting fucking free throws like instantaneous. Like they go and like they lay down and they think about that like repetition. Because if you in your mind you think about, okay, from the rim to the free throw line is like what? How long is it? 15 feet, I believe. Something like that, right? But if you just get in your mind state and you just like envision, like you just vision that, and then once you go out there, you practice it so much in your mind. By the time you go out, it's just like boom, and you're gonna be sinking shots.
Mm-hmm. They actually do, even especially with the free throws. They teach you like envision it going in type of thing, because it is more mental, like something like that with repetition. Yeah. It's like you kind of see it go in the basket.
Exactly.
You picture that, so you literally just like you're imagining that. Then as you're going with your motions, like that's a real thing.
That's a trip, bro. That's a
trip, bro.
When I bought like some of my cars, I did the same thing. Like I'd watch YouTube videos, and you could watch like the tours. They'll go inside, like to look at the interior and all that. I ordered a keychain for the shit before I even get the car. And I swear I did that. And then, so when I go buy the car, like, even if I wasn't, on paper out, it probably didn't qualify for it, but like shit would just fall in line. Exactly. But I already had the keychain for it. I already knew all about the car. I was, they say to like picture like feeling the leather steering wheel and all that. It sound crazy, bro. That shit is all really, it really does something. That shit's really real.
Yeah, I have it on my wallet. Like, there's a card I have in my wallet. Like, there's
you gotta buy that keychain, bro.
There's a goal. Like, you're supposed to tell, like, if you want X amount of money, or if you want to do X amount of things in your life, like, you have to write that shit down, and you have to live it and talk about it today as you already have. Like,
law of attraction,
as
man.
if you
law
had
of attraction.
And then so there's the active breathing part, which is you zone out for about an hour. It doesn't have to be an hour straight, but then you get in this deep state of active relaxation. And then you image your end result, like 20 years, then you work your way back.
I can't think that far.
You got it, bro. And then the mental rehearsal part. Then you start, like, for example, like, let's say in 20 years, I imagine myself living in this house that's painted this color, and I could see myself going in. Then in 10 years, I'm doing this 5. Then the 1 year, within this 1 year frame, okay, like in July, I envision myself talking to these investors about this product, and I mental rehearse the whole scenario. Even if I've never been in the office, but I could smell the office. I could feel the chairs. I could see everything. When you mental rehearse, when you do that, when you play it in your head, by the time I get to that point of talking to the investors, I'm going to go in there. I should be able to kill it because I already been there, done it. So that's the key behind AIM.
Is this explained in that book?
It is
success.
So
hyper success,
hyper performance.
Hyper performance.
And then his assistant just emailed me the audio just yesterday, and I haven't checked it out yet, but I'm going to start on that tonight.
Nice. I'm gonna check that
Send it
out.
to us.
It's crazy about the mental rehearsal. Like a lot of people do the inverse, right? They're replaying all the scenarios of negative shit, and
That could
that's
go
when they have
wrong.
anxiety problems. Like
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You're reacting to a scenario that you kind of made up yourself, but you're like, oh, what if this happened, and then this, and then this, and now you're feeling a certain way, and that's like why we have problems with anxiety and depression, and that's all mental rehearsal, but it's the complete opposite direction of what he's saying.
Very true. Very true.
Negative mental rehearsal.
Yeah,
negative,
we're
exactly.
all rehearsing it. So a lot of people just replay the same. As soon as they wake up, the scenarios in their mind, they already know what if tomorrow goes like this, and then now what they're doing today is getting affected by something that's never happened, only happened in your head. So same thing, just opposite.
I didn't think about that part.
That's like the definition of
Shit.
anxiety. Like you're being affected by things that hasn't happened. Like, but your body's gonna react to it.
Right.
So now you got cortisol is pulsing through your body because you're worried about a scenario that you made up about not going somewhere tomorrow or not having something in 10 years or something like that, and now you're getting physically ill. You know, or having a reaction now versus your mentally rehearsed scenario.
Yeah, I
Damn.
like that. Yeah.
You just killed it on that. I did not think about that.
I
but-
grew up with a lot of anxiety.
Same here. Same here.
He's like, I'm a professional at this shit.
Nah, but the way he broke it down, like I didn't.
Yeah.
It's a mental rehearsal.
Damn.
Man.
No, I mean, there is a negative side to it. And that's,
But once you know it, though, a lot of people don't understand. Like that's what you're doing. It's like, well, what if you just this thing that you're replaying over and over in your head? What if it was like a positive thing? Like what if, instead of the what if this happens, what if this happened? You know, and like and this isn't terrible. Yeah. You know, you're gonna feel a certain way. Your body's not gonna react in a stressful your stress response is. What happens when you think about positive stuff? That's when serotonin and everything starts pulsating, and then you have a physical reaction to it, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of people don't do that. It's like they feel like, oh, this is all I can think about. Like, well, if you can think about this, you can change the direction. Yeah. It takes like exercise, but a lot of us don't. How many people wake up and have a mental rehearsal of some positive shit happening, or like, all right, this day's gonna go good. That's just itself. It's a mental rehearsal. Yeah. No, most people are going the opposite direction, and now we have.
That's me. I wake up like, I feel like shit. Today's gonna piss me off today.
Yeah. You're already telling yourself today is gonna piss you off, versus you can say, you know what, today's gonna be awesome. Something great is gonna happen. I'm gonna do good today. Your body's gonna react in a certain way depending on how you feel, and you're controlling that whole process.
I wake up, I'm like, it's Monday. It's Monday morning. I'm about to kill some shit today. Yeah. And I get ready. I'm like, let's do this.
But I can honestly say when I have done that, the day has turned around. Like, damn, it was actually a good day today. You know,
same thing.
Surprised by
the way that they say the way that you go to sleep, right? If you go to sleep thinking like, man, tomorrow's gonna fucking suck, you'll probably wake up feeling like tomorrow, like you're like, oh shit, I was right. Versus if you go to sleep like, you know what, tomorrow's actually everything's gonna be all better. You're pretty much you're psyching yourself up, and your body's gonna react to that.
Speaking of sleeping, I had an interesting thing happen I think it's about a week ago. I knew this, but I didn't know it until like this day happened, right? Like I was watching a soccer game, and it was hella early in the morning, and then I ended up falling asleep watching that game, and then I had it in my ear. I had like headphones on, and then the Olympics came on after. I was dreaming at the same time, right? I was like in and out of sleep, and I was dreaming that I was like in the Olympics or some shit like that, right? So I wake up and I hear the Olympic, I'm like, holy shit. I was in the Olympics because I was listening to the fucking Olympics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
And
why
so,
I don't fall asleep with nothing. Playing.
yeah, and it didn't really, because I used to do it all the time before, like listening to music and shit. I used to like have like crazy ass dreams because I knew what I was listening to when I went to sleep. But I never thought about it like that. You know what I'm saying? But that day, it really just like, holy shit, they just blew my fucking mind.
And that's the key thing, right? It's like and that's why like the more I understand like how
The brain works.
and like how our energy, like what we take in, affects the long-term plan. Like for me, that's the reason why like I switched up. Like even like the music I listen to, people don't think like any and everything. Like the people you're around, you can absorb their energy. The music you listen to, whatever messages that they're putting out, it's gonna hit you. So like even for like music, I listen to more like instrumental, like hip hop, jazz type stuff, or like really chill, settle shit. Because like everything that comes in, like the dream, right? Like you could just be like, what if I'm just like chilling? Like I start listening to like some crazy ass fucking song that talks about like, let's go blast this motherfucker. Like I'm gonna have that like that might I might dream that, right? Yeah. And they're like, oh shit. And I've had some situations like I had dreams that were deep that just like if like they say you can't remember your dreams. I remember this shit. I thought it ruined my.
We had
it
a whole
ruined me for
episode
like 2
about.
days. Bro.
We
like,
had a whole episode about dreams.
I thought about this shit for like 2 days, and I was like, I feel like shit. Like I should go and fucking. I need to go talk to the psychologist because I'm now I'm overthinking shit. Like
No, that's crazy how like the dreams like. You know, I think they're just like a product of our influences. Like, what are some other, I guess, outside influences that you would say kind of like make up our, you know, whatever you want to call our emotional diet or whatnot?
Do I got a question for Mark real quick. Do you think that your influence come from people more, or is it more so of the behaviors of others? You know.
I learned from the behaviors of others. Like I learned what to do and I would learn what not to do. But now as far as like my influence, where does that come from? Shit, I'm influenced by like, there's different things that can influence me. I mean, because like I could listen to certain music, right? And then it's like that could have an impact on me. And I could watch a specific movie and it'll make me feel a certain way and want to do a certain thing. Like for example, like I'm not going to say I'm going to do it, but like let's say I watch Scarface, right? Like in your mind, like, fuck, wouldn't it be dope to just be a cocaine dealer? And you start, and then, I mean, for me, because, like, I think about, like, damn, like, I'm in Miami, and I'm watching this movie. I understand, like, I could probably import some shit. So I portray these thoughts. I mean, so, like,
I want to,
said I want to, but,
I probably could if I wanted.
And then, like, I'll go watch, like, fucking WWF wrestling. Like, oh, shit, like, I want to be a wrestler. I mean, I can get, that's, like, a whole, I mean, so to answer your question, like, I don't even really know. Like I'm influenced by. I learn a lot from people. I love learning from people. Whether I learn from the homeless guy on Market Street in the city. You know, he might have an interesting story about his life that taught me something. I learned from like Jack Dorsey. You know, he's the founder of Twitter. And like for me to meet him, like I've learned things about him, and so I learn from people. I learn from. It doesn't have to be successful. You could be the guy in the street. You could be a billionaire. I'm gonna learn from anybody.
Yeah. What experience have you had? I know when I had to like learn this, as far as like looking at mentors or reading books or looking up to certain people, I feel like sometimes they'll idolize people and be like, okay, this person does this, and this. And they'll be like, oh, he's my mentor. I look up to him. But then when that person does something bad, like in a media scandal, they'll be like, oh man, they almost lose all hope. They're like, well, if he ain't shit, and I was looking up to him, well, ain't nobody nothing. But there is that time where you can just take the good parts of them. You don't have to like fully take on this person's identity. You just take the gems from them. You know what I mean? I know there was a time for me for that where you would look up to people and I'd be like, well, I like what he does, but like he also does this and said this and I don't really fuck with that. So do I really fuck with all this other shit he does too? Like you have to kind of like be able to separate. You know what I mean?
I think there's a way around it, but people don't know how to separate it. You know what I'm saying? You could separate yourself from somebody, but people will always, even, you know, back to the presidency, like with Trump and all that shit, like you can like something and not like something, but people, because you like something, now you fuck with them. It's just like, damn, I can't like anything. You know what I'm saying? It's just like people don't know how to differentiate from other things, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I think speaking of like family, right? Like I can have somebody who do some foul shit, but it's just like you still my fucking family.
Yeah, it don't cancel out all the good guidance they give.
It's just because you did something fucked up, you've made a mistake. It is what it is. But I'm not finna demonize you over the shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just is what it is, I guess. But people don't want to see past it. I guess.
No, I stay with people. If I believe in you, we're all humans. I mean, we're gonna make a mistake. I make mistakes. No one is. Tell me one perfect person in this world. Like nobody. I mean, we all
Steph
fuck
Curry.
up. Right? So like, I don't care if you had like
Steph Curry, bro.
That nigga's a fucking saint.
I know the day that when something
That's
comes
the
out,
guy for me. If Steph Curry like it comes out, he like got a stripper pregnant or something. I'm like, all right, well, I can't.
it's gonna happen, bro. Something.
I got him up here, bro.
People itching to find dirt on that motherfucker.
Okay, let's talk about Elon Musk then.
I don't like that nigga.
What? You don't, for real?
He just seems like a douchebag.
No, I like him. I mean, I like his train of thought. I like the way he thinks. I mean, let's honestly let's talk about that guy, right? I mean, look at what he's achieved. I mean, take out the money part. The guy is building fucking spaceships. He's Tesla, the tunnels. He has. I mean, to me, he's like just.
I love his going against the grain.
Exactly.
I love
Doesn't
that
give a
about
fuck,
him.
right? Like he just does whatever, and like, look at all the fumbles he had. Still has. He just. I think he just divorced or broke up with. What's her name? Grimes.
Yeah, I'm not too.
I don't know,
too
but
much.
It sounds like a name of someone in his family. Like,
But I mean, like,
I get what
he
you're
fucks
saying.
up, and look at like people idolize him, but then he has as much as he achieved, like he still makes mistakes, and he had I can't quote it like identically, but one of the things he said was like, and it's along the lines of like the people that we should be learning from really are drug dealers. You know what I mean? Because even though, like you said, right?
they just don't pay taxes. That's the only.
I mean, if you want to learn how to create like a company, fucking learn from the drug dealers. I mean, they don't teach us like when you go to school. I was always a bad student. I was like the worst student. I fucking paid someone to help me pass the final in high school. Like otherwise, I was going to graduate. But my point to that is like they don't teach us what we need to know to get to like where we should be in life. Because think about it, if teachers were able to. If they had that level of knowledge, they wouldn't be teaching. They'd be running their own shit anyways. But my point is like, fucking just learn from drug dealers because they figured that shit out.
My point is learn from drug
dealers. That's my point. Like
that took a turn.
I mean, if you want to learn, right? I mean,
canceled.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying though because I think it just comes down to characteristics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Drug dealers, what does that come? Ability to take risk, tenacity, overcoming obstacles,
Understand
organization,
supply and demand,
taking losses and then starting and then coming back up.
Yeah, being able to delegate, you know what I mean, all that kind of stuff. So
punishment when necessary.
Yeah, like all that kind of
discipline.
Someone's missing.
How to hide your money.
Yeah.
Like all those traits are like you can easily look up entrepreneur and be like, what are the traits that entail an entrepreneur, and they would say the same thing. So it definitely makes sense. Let me see. What else? Is there any other like highlighted books or anything or any pivotal moments or any books that or something that you got inputted where you were like it completely like shifted your gears or like made you like, oh shit, I'm for sure going this way now because of some sort of information that you got.
Yep.
Anything?
I was 33. I had my baby. Just
33.
bought our house. Are you 33?
I said 33. Your numbers.
That's what I'm saying, right? So, yeah. All right. So I was 33. Before 33, I was running. I created companies, but I didn't understand life until like 33. I don't know what happened, but 33, like mentors, like, hey, read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's the first book I ever like went to the store to actually buy. I read that book. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, I just got hooked on reading books. I started reading more books, and I read How to Win Friends and Influence People.
I like that one.
That's a gem. Yep. And I read that, and then I just started just reading more books. And then, I can call out so many books, but the gems that I have is, like, U Squared, Price Pritchett.
Yeah, that's the shit.
That's the shit right there. It's a 30-page book, I think, but you could... The knowledge you'll get in that, like if that doesn't inspire you, then like just curtains closed, like just go to sleep. You know what I mean? Like, you have no hope.
And I think it's to that point too though is I think it's okay. Like I don't. Sometimes like I kind of try to pull back because I try to like not make it seem like everybody got to do their own thing and own business because we definitely need 9-to-5ers. We need those cookie cutters to make the world kind of go around. But I get what you're saying.
I think your point is like it's okay to live that life, but don't complain about it. You know what I'm saying? If you're okay with doing that, then do that. But don't sit there and complain about your life day in, day out, but you're not doing anything to change it. You know what I'm saying?
I believe that there's people who are great. Like that's what they should do, and they're great at that, and be great at that. Right?
I fucking envy those type of people to just be like, this is what I do every day.
That's who moved my cheese. So who moved my cheese? Like to break it down, really, it's about like
it's a book, y'all. Who moved my cheese?
Who moved my cheese? Yeah, it's a book. Pick it up. And I'm not here like to educate people. Like don't if you're not a reader, don't go out and start reading books just because you want to read. But if you want to learn shit, buy these books. But like who moved my cheese? Like it's meant for people who are just like they're not business. They're not trying to be like the next Instagram person or whatever it may be, or like they're just like their goal is to like just be the best employee at Charles Schwab or whatever it may be, right? So like, but it teaches you like wherever it's at. The cheese can be so essentially it's like imagine yourself in a rat maze. Mice are actually smarter than humans because if you put mice in a maze. They'll hit a maze. If they hit a dead end, they'll move and keep going until they find cheese. Humans, they go into a maze of life and they hit a dead end. A dead end could be like just a dead end in life. Or they hit moldy cheese. Doesn't matter how moldy that cheese is. A moldy cheese could be a bad relationship, a bad job, something they hate. They'll still stick with it because it's comfort. Yeah. Mice don't do that. Mice are like, oh, this cheese is gross. I'm out. Let me go find new cheese. So cheese could be. If you're working a job at Charles Schwab or like whatever company, Bank of America, whatever it may be, like if the cheese is molded, like if this position you're in sucks, then figure out how to get to the next position. Become like a manager. Don't work at the branch. Or if you're at Starbucks and you're done making coffee for people, figure out how to become the manager. Like that cheese is moldy. Like move. Don't just stay because you're comfortable. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. Comfort kills.
That's cool.
That was meant for me then. I wonder he told me about it.
all the books I talk about, like they're gems.
I like that.
So closing out the verdict to this case, how would you?
Let's see. Final statement. Final testimony on this would probably be back to my point I made before. If you are finding yourself, kind of stagnant, kind of plateauing, and kind of looking at your peers around you and just not able to progress and get to any other levels, I feel like it'd be in your great benefit to pick up some of these books, audio books where I can't read. I read like 2 pages and fall asleep. So audio books is my shit. I'm very big on visual, a lot of podcast stuff, interviews, stuff like that. Get the information from the people that are at the levels that you aspire to be. You know what I mean? You can't keep doing the same shit thinking you're going to get on these people's level when you're not doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? Or at least getting some sort of insight from them. I think that's a big one. I think another big one for me is just like self-awareness. You know what I'm saying? I've done a lot of that, like especially like within the last like 2 years, because I think once you're self-aware about yourself and knowing, what your triggers are, why what your personality is, why you conduct yourself this way, or what, just what's really going on in your mind. You can have all these tricks and all you want, but as soon as you get to these moldy cheeses and all that, if you don't know how to operate and navigate through those because you don't know yourself, you're gonna constantly keep fumbling back. You know what I'm saying? So I think you have to like hit it from all grounds. You know what I mean? Got to get information, know about yourself, also be healthy, and just you got to do a little bit of everything to like give yourself a better chance, for success, whatever that is that you make it. But yeah, man, just be a little bit well-rounded, be hungry for knowledge. You know what I'm saying? The more you know, I think the better your chances are of succeeding. And yeah, that's about it.
What you got, Mark?
If you're young,
do better, motherfuckers.
Follow drug dealers.
Drug dealers.
If you're young and before you have to do serious time, follow drug dealers. No, I would say just like I said before, believe in yourself and just make shit happen. I mean, I can go into detail about that, but anything is possible. Put your mind to it, and anything's possible.
Know better, Do better.
That's it.
There you go.
Guilty, motherfucker. Case closed.
Case closed. You lay that gavel now.
Oh,
Huh?
that shit is the truth. That shit is the truth.
That gavel's the